For today, we're going to need a yoga block and a dumbbell, and we will play around with those as we go along. So we're going to start in a bent leg side plank position. We can also do this from a straight leg side plank position, but we'll play around with that in the next set. So let's start by kind of raising to the top. We're going to breathe in as we go down. I'm going to go long exhale. As I go up to the point where I can really feel my oblique contract. From there, I can press into this block. Just give me a little assistance there. Meaning the block is going to help me to feel my abs. So I'm pressing into the block as I go up. Just kind of help me feel that peak contraction at the top. And I'm going to hold on to the block. I'm going to hold at the top, breathe in. Slide the block along the floor. Yeah, just making these circles here. Do one more. Okay, so we're going to switch sides here. Same idea. The low oblique sit, by the way, on the side plank. The weight is through my inner elbow, the heel of my hand. I'm going to lift up, make sure I find my arms, breathe in. Then exhale. Push into the ground, keep my abs in. Long inhale all the way down. Long exhale all the way up. Now we're just going to hold the top and make circles. Last one. All right, so last exercise in the circuit, we're gonna come onto your back and we're gonna do what is called a dead bug halo. So dead bug halo, basically I'm doing a circle around my head. I can extend my legs out to make it harder and bend my knees to make it easier, but I'm gonna breathe in through my nose. I'm gonna exhale. Squeeze the block to a halo around my head. Again, I can put my toes in the wall to help stabilize me. The key thing is I'm holding on these long exhales as I do this. It almost feels like they're getting longer as you go along here. All right, so we're gonna go back to our low oblique sit. And this time we can play around with straightening the legs out. So the harder thing to do, the harder progression would be to do this, where my legs are straight. We breathe in. Same idea. We lift up. The main thing though, is that as I do this, my oblique continues to be the thing that's doing work as opposed to my neck or my elbow. Those are two common areas that people report discomfort when this is too high or heavy, this is too hard of a progression for them at the moment. So what I recommend is that if you're having trouble with it, if you start to notice your fatigue at a certain point in those areas, you can go back to bent leg version. I like to kind of start maybe bent leg for 30 seconds and then straight leg after, or I'm sorry, straight leg for 30 seconds and then bent leg. But again, the goal would be to get through this whole thing with the straight leg version. But again, you've got to be able to feel the oblique as opposed to the elbow or the shoulder. That's the factor that allows us to know, what is working, what is not. So Breathe in as we go down. Exhale as you go up. Again, just controlling this. Making sure that I don't get all the air, but almost all the air out as I exhale, as I raise up to the top. I'm holding this. Doing some circles. One more. All right, let's do some dead bug halos here. And again, I want to make sure that my legs are extended out to the degree that's hard but not undoable. Making a big circle, breathing in. And again, just moving slow, controlling. Again, you find that your legs start fatiguing, put your toes on the wall. Continue to keep your abs engaged without your legs kicking in too much. One more circle. All right, last rounds here. So again, I want you to pick the strategy that allows you to get through this, whether it be bent leg or straight leg, bent leg halfway through, transition from straight leg to bent leg, whatever it may be. Make sure that you stay with the breathing mechanics, meaning inhale as we go down, exhale as you go up. Let's hold at the top, let's hit some circles. Or let's go ahead and switch sides here. So again, same idea. What you might find is one side is very different than the other. One side might fatigue much more quickly, which just means that you might have a little bit more release work to do on that side or whatever it may be. The other thing is try to keep your body relatively straight as opposed to turning like that. The block helps to do that. I have my hand fixed on the block, kind of prevents my torso from rotating in either direction, really. We're going to hold at the top. I'm going to exhale to a circle. Bring it back. Really slow and deliberate here. Trying to hold at the top. We can always go back to midway. All right, so last exercise. Let's come back into our dead bow position. Again, extend my legs to the point that is challenging. Let's breathe in. Big circle. And this one in particular should feel almost as if your exhales get longer. So if you only do like 3 reps in this whole circuit, that's great. That means that you're working through really long exhale and you're sinking your abs with it, which is very useful. And you're all done. Great work. See you in the next workout.